Hello everyone and welcome to Community Corner. This week we will be talking about the v.44 changes that had just happened this past week. Hello everyone and welcome to the Community Corner. This is our weekly discussion series. My name is KL Smith, joined by Edgar Diaz.
What's up, guys?
Colin Fogle, competitive designer. This week we're talking all about the v.44 changes. Obviously, a lot of discussion from the community this past week.
So much stuff.
With all the discussion going on. And so, you know, we wanted to take some time to talk about some of the important things you guys are talking about. First off, though, that Murdoch.
Yeah, the Murdoch.
Yeah, can we just talk about that for a second? Can we just talk about the lights? I think Colin, actually, you had a pretty funny story about how this thing kind of came to life, sort of thing. And
it was funny because for a while in playtest, I would start saying like whoop whoop whenever the thing activated because we were working on the effects and everything. Right. Like, as soon as the lights went in, it was like okay, like sirens, whoop whoop, and sure enough, like the entire room would eventually just start echoing until eventually we were like whoop whoop, stop, it's the police, and then we would continue on, and then we were like, all right, this needs sirens.
That's good.
The audio team and effects team just like killed it on that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I saw a lot of
hilarious
folks kind of talk about that, over on in the community space. So, you know, I think it's really cool to see, you know, like you said, the art team and animation and effects really bring that together.
It's just
and
fun.
audio.
It's just fun.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Murdoch really feels like just like that space cop now, right? Like you're just on the fields of Monolith, just like distributing justice. You know,
people
like
down the back alleys.
insert Mooney meme here. You know, insert Mooney meme here is probably where he'd come in with some kind of Bad Boys reference or something. But
yeah, we would all shout OPD like every single time. It's hilarious.
That's good. The biggest discussion, and we're gonna hit this stuff pretty hard. The biggest discussion that we've seen so far is probably from the HUD, which was the big, one of the big changes that were a part of v.44.
There was lots of new HUD.
Yes, lots of new
elements.
HUD. And Ed, I know you had an opportunity to talk to Matt Shimberry about the HUD changes. Could you kind of walk us through some of the things that people have been talking about that you know will be addressed here soon?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think the first thing, and most importantly, something that obviously Shimberry's not here now, but one of the things that we really wanted to kind of communicate to everybody is just really hitting home on the fact that this is V1. This is version 1 of our improved HUD. There are going to continue to be changes to it, and we really wanted to say thank you to the community for coming out and giving us all of this feedback. A ton of feedback everywhere. We're talking forums, Twitter, all our social outlets, Reddit. So really, really appreciate you guys kind of coming in and letting us know where it is we can improve, right? And in fact, we have some of those changes coming in very soon. Number one, probably the most talked about thing, health bars in particular. I know that there were some issues with the overall brightness and things of that nature. Neon colors. I know that there were some people talking about being colorblind and things like that, lacking some of those options to kind of assist them. That is going to get better. 44.3, we are looking at improving that 100%. We did have some technical challenges when we were looking at releasing this initially in 44. Ultimately, we weren't super happy with where it ended. We didn't want it to be so bright. We just make that clear, did not want it to be so bright. We ended up erring on the side of perf over aesthetic, if you would, where we thought it was really, really important for us to get it in front of people and start kind of getting that feedback loop going for the HUD, as opposed to holding back because of that. One of the other things that we heard a lot about in particular, and shout out to the Reddit community for kind of just like
day one,
the patch was out, I mean, not even an hour, and there was a post kind of bringing to light the Sacred Alchemy with the shield spam
Sacred
over
Alchemy.
on the buff status bar. Yeah, Colin,
this is one where like it's actually been an issue since way back in Legacy when we had a card that applied shields on hit, and it's always done this, but it was a little tiny bar instead of the big bars on the sides, and we knew about it. And sure enough, when we saw the post on the right, we're like, I thought you. And we looked at it, and it had gotten marked for the wrong version. It was 44.1. So. Yeah,
that's when the fix is coming, guys. 44.1. Look out.
That's game development.
Yes.
So one of the other things, and probably the thing that I personally am most excited for in some of these HUD improvements that are coming, UI scaling. Something that we've heard a lot about. We kind of talked a little bit about it in that last, Kale's excited about that one. In the last community corner, when Shimberry joined us, we started talking about where we were going in the realm of customization and really just like hitting home with giving people those options, right? If you're kind of like the minimalist player, you kind of just, you don't need all of that information, you can play that way. If you are one of those players, great, we want you to have those options. And we're ultimately working towards that, right? And I think UI scale is such a big thing in that space, and you would think maybe it's everything from the information itself to how big all of the actual widgets are on the screen and whatnot. It's very important, and we know that it's something that's very important to our player base. So UI scaling confirmed 44.3. That's going to come in.
Hold on. It's not confirmed. It's on track.
On track.
On track for 44.3.
I appreciate you correcting
On
me
track.
There.
Way to look out, Kale. Way to look out.
Yeah.
On track.
I don't want to put Shimberi in a spot where he's like, what did you say, Ed?
Shimberi's probably watching this just like, yeah, Kale.
And then key bindings.
Yeah,
obviously,
so key bindings was a big thing as well. Something that we heard, especially in the realm like from our competitive community. A lot of these guys play with custom key bindings, right? Play with these crazy things that kind of carry over from game to game. People sort of have their preferences. One of the things that we introduced in 44 was the ability to quick level up your attributes using control 1, 2, 3 to level up agility, vitality, etc. It was creating some problems for some folks with custom who were using custom key bindings. We are going to be addressing that issue in 44.3. So cool. Fret not for those of you who were. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. We're going to get that taken care of.
So quick recap: health bars, neon colors, and colorblind stuff. 44.3, buff bar, which is the sacred alchemy kind of spam that you see on the side that probably affects a couple other status abilities.
Yeah, we're actually doing a cleanup pass through all the cards.
Yeah, so that's 44.1. Is when that will be addressed. UI scaling is on track for 44.3.
On track for
and improved key bindings is coming in 44.3 as well.
Right. And to that point, actually, you actually reminded me in regards to the colorblind options. I guess I should be more specific. We are aware that there are some issues in that realm, and we are working towards fixing those things.
Right.
We're not. I'm not. Sure this is not to say that there is a very specific colorblind option that's going to be implemented in 44.3. I just want to be very clear about that. But it's something that we are absolutely aware of, and we are going to be working on improving.
Okay. Yeah. And then the next, super popular topic: last hitting, minion execute, changing that threshold in 44. Colin, can you kind of talk about some of the goals around that and plans going forward?
So one of our goals really since day one with the project was we really want to be fully committed to clarifying the MOBA genre as a whole and kind of reevaluating some of those mechanics that are born from old RTS limitations from way back in the day. So with last hitting, we wanted to improve the consistency and let players focus primarily on strategic decision making and defeating their opponents. So this is something that you'll see really in all of our changes in the next several months is kind of focusing on that goal as a whole. You'll start to see that with 44.3 balance changes, for example. v.44 was light on balance changes because we're working on a larger pass in 44.3 that's really focused around those hero and hero interactions and making abilities more impactful.
Hey, looking forward. So wait, are there any more hero reworks 44.3?
I'm not the guy who can even say it if there was.
Dang.
I can say there's balance coming for both heroes and cards to a lesser extent, but lots of hero changes for .3 as far as balance goes.
Cool. Now, I just have to do a quick shout out because I read this on Wednesday's community stream, but Flix just reminded myself of this in our notes. Stories of the Shadow contest winner. Awesome job on the story. He had a bang up job with his artwork. Very nice story. Another one I got to give a shout out to is Art Amazon. Oh my gosh, her comic was amazing.
Ridiculous.
A lot of favorites internally, but Flix came out on top for the collective votes inside the building. So super pumped to see all of the artwork, the stories that came in for Shadow's Eve as a part of that contest. It was really cool. Now, one last point, Colin, in terms of where the game is kind of headed. What types of things can people expect going forward? Just at a high level, what are some of the things that we're trying to do?
Yeah, I think at a high level, it's going to be spending lots of time, again, focusing on those hero and hero interactions and really making sure that there's kind of a suite of objectives and options for you around the map, and that it's very clear, like, what those are for players. Where in the past we've had objectives and we haven't really done a great job of kind of bringing focus to them. And again, you can see with the most recent update that we started doing some of that with Fangtooth and the kill Fangtooth reminders, for example.
And another one you had talked about was the towers, right?
Like towers, like we've been working on really, that's
states.
Been like the past 6 months has been really improving all those states and making it really clear as to what's happening in the interactions. So you're gonna see more of that. And then also improving like team fights and really just getting all the hero versus hero combat as good as we can.
Yeah.
In addition to the objectives.
One other thing, and you know, with clarity, that I want to mention is I know Tim Ellick, they're going to be doing a big effects pass.
Yeah.
Right.
And
for visual
and so
noise.
for visual noise, and it just improves on that clarity.
Yeah.
You know, if you're a competitive person and you're like, it's a little too noisy, they're going to be working on some options to reduce that and make it more easily understood about what's going on in the different states.
Yeah, that'll actually be in 44.3. We did a pass through. We're actually currently in the process, so it's technically on track, but some portion will be in 44.3 is going through the effects for cards and kind of pulling out the ones which we feel are actually not necessary. And,
Gotcha.
Then like improving some of the ones that we feel like could actually use more emphasis. I think like audio for Vampiric Blade was an example that was cited. So that'll be in 44.3, and that's really the type of stuff that we're going to be focusing on as we start to like lock down the game. Now that we finally have a lot of the systems that we've been waiting on in the game, there's be lots of polishing and getting everything tip-top shape.
So it sounds like we're really just trying to hone in on those things that really just make Paragon.
Yeah.
That really just bring you into the action. That work towards all these goals that we had for the game from the very beginning.
Yeah. So I think more and more over the next couple months and into the new year, you guys are going to see communications about the direction that we're headed. You're going to see a lot more clarifying and definition on what Paragon is in terms of gameplay. You guys are already starting to see some of that. You're going to see more features and stuff come online that we've cared about for a long time, but now we're finally at a spot where some of those things can start snapping into the game. So I think it'll be a good time over the next few months and going into the new year as we get prepped and ready for the full launch of Paragon. It's going to be a good time. So hope you guys enjoyed today's Community Corner. If you guys have any questions, please make sure to leave them down in the comment section down below. Colin, thank you so much for coming on.
Good to be on.
And we will see you guys next week.